on America's founding.
I think the Freemasonry was an incredible force in shaping American character. So many founding fathers were Freemasons, and they took those ideas and those ideals and they imprinted them on early American society.
The first Masonic Lodge in America appeared in Boston in 1720. By 1731, a young Ben Franklin had been initiated. George Washington was initiated at age 20 in 1752. Sam Adams, Paul Revere, Patrick Henry, John Hancock, all were Masons. These same leading Masons became leading political figures as the British colonies became the American Republic.
If there is one experiment in government that was influenced the most by the concepts, teachings, practices of Freemasonry, it is the American experiment.
Freemasons truly did invent the United States of America.
In fact, the U.S. Constitution is not just an American document. It is a specifically Masonic document. England has no written constitution. Instead, it has a system of written and unwritten laws, customs, and agreements. When the Founding Fathers looked around for some precedent for a written constitution, they found only one. The Masonic document called Anderson's Constitutions. Written in 1723 by British Mason James Anderson, these constitutions guided the governing of all Masonic lodges.
Anderson's constitutions had rules for elections. It had universal suffrage. All the members were allowed to vote. It had freedom of religion. It had freedom of expression, freedom of assembly. All these things that wound up being put into the Constitution can be found in Anderson's constitutions.
In fact, there are sentences in the American Constitution that seem to be lifted directly from the Freemasons' Constitution. Anderson's Article 10 calls for representative government. Article 14 demands checks and balances on the executive branch. Article 37 guarantees freedom of speech, freedom of religion, and freedom of assembly. These Masonic concepts were written 64 years before the American Constitution. Perhaps it's no surprise. 13 of the signers were Freemasons. Even the presidential oath of office, repeated every 4 years in celebration of our nation's electoral process, stems directly from a Masonic ritual.
Oh my God. Congratulations, Mr. President.
New York, 1789. George Washington prepares to be sworn in as America's first president.
Come the inauguration, George Washington asks for a Bible. There was no Bible because taking the oath did not involve anything. He said, no, I need a Bible. That's how I take my obligation. In a Masonic lodge, the individual takes his obligation on the book of his faith. And this is a very American thing, comes straight from Freemasonry. The oath-taking is an individual bond.
A runner was sent to New York's St. John's Masonic Lodge to retrieve the lodge's Bible. Washington swore his presidential oath in the Masonic manner, as has every president since.